Right, buddy, it's Manchester United versus Brentford. Premier League preview. Listen, there's a nothing game really for Manchester United. Still a game I want to win though. And still a game that I think is still important for Manchester United. Listen, we got a great 3-0 victory over Bilbao. Going into the second leg, I think we should be able to get through. But this game's about Brentford. And listen, no, like, who cares really? We'll probably lose. But again, it's just about getting through the game. As I said, there will be rotations. Amarim's confirmed that in his pre-match and post-match interviews from the game against Bilbao. So yeah, listen, we do expect it to be changed. There's some players that I definitely want to see. But listen, Brentford are a decent side. We know the threats they have. They're having a good season. I don't know if they can get into Europe, but they have had a decent season. And I think the players that they have, we know the threats in Buemo, Kevin Shard, Wissa, all them, man, they're really, really good. So they do have some good players. I think defensively, United have looked pretty solid though recently. They're 11th in the table. United are 10 points behind them, in sitting in 14th. Obviously, this season we beat them 2-1. I think it was Højlund and I can't remember who scored the other one. But we have beaten them this season already. They are a pretty good side. Their last game was at the same time or similar time to Manchester United on Thursday, where they beat Forest 2-0. So they're having some good form at the minute. They have a good team as well. It's a difficult place to go. As I said, we know the threat Shard, Yarmolenko midfield, Norgard. They got energetic players who can score goals. And United at Brentford haven't really done well in terms of at their ground. But I think it will be a very, very difficult game. An interesting game as well. And I'm hoping Manchester United can get the job done. Now, in terms of what do I expect from the game, tricky game away from home. In terms of Manchester United's team news, there will be a few changes. There's opportunities for someone like Kamasin to potentially get some minutes. But I'm going to run you through my team now. So I'd start off with, obviously, Andre Nana in goal. I mean, didn't even have anything to do in that game against Bilbao. Another opportunity for him. Again, just to keep him in goal. Back five. Now, for me, Amas has to start left wing back. I think you go Shaw, De Ligt in the centre, Lindelof on the right. You could see Fredrickson come in, but that's just who I would go with. On the right, now, you could see Kamasin. You could see Ahmad. I think it probably will be Ahmad. He likes to operate in that right wing back position. Amarim likes him there, and I think that's where I think he would play him. He had a very good 10 minutes when he came on, despite being out for a couple of months. Into midfield, now I think you take out Casemiro. Again, you could see Amarim starting to keep the rhythm, but I think he's one of those players. He is old, and you want to see him just give a rest. I think you go Ugarte, and I think you go Bruno in midfield. Bruno's going to start, and we know that. I think Bruno's quality in midfield is needed. I think you drop him deep for this game. And yeah, I think that's where he can operate best, especially on the counter-attack. Two inside 10s. I mean, Kobbie Mainoo has to get a start. Okay, did he start against Wolves? I'm pretty sure he did. I think he will start this game. I think you need to see a chance for Kobbie Mainoo. You want to see him get some minutes as well, more than anything. He's one of those players who, again, still is finding his feet since the injury. But I think in a game like this, you want to see him given that opportunity to start. And I think that's something that Amarim will give him. Now, in terms of the other 10, Mount's another player, injury. He hasn't got many starts, has been getting cameos here and there. But I think it'd be absolutely important to give him a start. I think you need his quality. He actually did score last season. I think it was at Brentford, where we drew 1-1. But yeah, you want to see Mason Mount get some minutes. He's had a tricky time with injury. See what you can offer, especially in a game like this where it's going to be tricky. And through the middle, listen, you could see Cheeto start, but I think for the momentum, Højlund is one of those players you want to keep in, and then maybe take him off after 45 minutes, 60 minutes, or you could do it the other way around, start Cheeto, then bring on Rasmus. But that would be the team I'd go for. Listen, for me, it's all about seeing Ahmad and De Ligt return. They've been in training now for a week, and you want to see them build their match fitness in that game. You want to see players like Maguire, Yoro. I want to see Dorgu rested. Mazraoui, for me, Amarim's talked about how he felt after the game. You want to see him get a rest. But you could see some youngsters come in. I mean, Fredrickson. I want to see Amas get a start. Potentially Cheeto. And players like senior pros who have Mount, Mainoo. These players who are not really starting games, but you want to see them get opportunity. As I said, Brentford, the full focus is on Europa League on Thursday, and I think every United fan can agree on that. But they've got some good players. As I said, Nathan Collins, they defend well. If you look, but yeah, they have a very, very good side. And you look at their form, last couple of results, matches. They beat Forest, they beat Brighton, they got a draw with Arsenal, draw with Chelsea, and then they lost to Newcastle, and they beat Bournemouth. They lost 1-0 to Villa. So their last games ain't bad. In terms of at home, they beat Brighton in their last home game. They just beat Forest, who again going for Champions League football. We know how Thomas Frank likes them to play, but again for Amorim, it's just about keeping players fresh for that game on Thursday against Bilbao. I think that's absolutely vital. Again, you want to see Ligt start, Ahmad start. You want to see some of those youngsters get some moments. But no one really cares, about this game. United, if we can get up the table, it'd be beneficial. But again, we have 2 games left to save, not to save our season, but to get something out of this season in the Europa League. And it was a very convincing display against Bilbao, and you want to see that again. Now, in terms of score predictions for this game, I think it's going to be... I'm going to go 2-1 Manchester United. Again, as I said, what I've said, Brentford are a good side, and I don't expect United to win, but I hope we can. I hope we can just show something in the game to get the points, really. And I think that's something that Manchester United need. We need the points on the table. We need the points. And yeah, listen, it's going to be a tricky game. I think Brentford, very good possession side. If you look at some of the results this season, they beat Leicester 4-0. They got a draw with City. So they're not really a bad side. They score goals. They have a good defensive record. They know how to play it from the back. They like to get players in behind. So yeah, it certainly isn't going to be easy for Manchester United. But again, listen, as I keep saying, we have Brentford. Then I think we have West Ham, Chelsea, and I think Villa. They're the only games left we have in the Premier League. Some tough games in there. But I still think Ruben Amorim's most important priority, which it should be, is the Europa League. And again, it's important to get key players rested for this game. And there's not really too much pressure on the players who do come in. You just want to see them get a result. But yeah, let's see what happens. Thanks for watching.